you're working on your marriage and you keep feeling like you're messing up and you don't know what you should do? My name is Lee Balkin and I'm the Internet's leading marriage expert, and we're here to look at that question, that very question today. Your marriage is in a crisis. That's probably why you're watching this video, unless you're just curious, and you may be feeling terror, panic, dread, or anger. I just want you to know that you may also experience headaches, sleeplessness, nausea, or depression, and all of that would be a normal reaction. That's the normal reaction when our world is turned upside down, and we got to understand that that's not helpful, but it is normal. It's not a helpful situation when you feel all that fear, that anger, that dread, that depression, and all those physical symptoms. It is normal, though. Your world has been turned upside down. What you have known it to be is suddenly jerked out from under you, and you're trying to find your place to stand, and it's just tough to do at this point. So what you really need to know is this is really about fear. It's very simply, we boil it down, it's all about fear, and it's fear of the unknown. So you have to deal with it like any other fear. Don't avoid it. You can't hide from fear. If you hide from fear, when it comes back, it's much worse. So don't avoid it. Actually face it and admit that it's fear, and don't fight it. If you notice, those are two of our normal responses. Our primitive responses is fight or flight. And so don't fight. Don't get all frustrated and try to overcome it. Just accept that it is, and don't run. As much as we like to get away from pain, that sometimes is our immediate reaction when someone says, hey, I want to get out of this marriage. We suddenly don't even want to talk about it, or we suddenly want to fight them about it, or we want to get away from them and push them away. So remember that those are our normal reactions, and we want to do something on it, because that just turns on the fear when we do those responses. We're actually proving that we should be fearful, and we escalate the fear instead of getting rid of it. Instead, just acknowledge that you have fear. Acknowledge what it's about. Acknowledge that you're scared because you don't want to lose your relationship, and seek advice from someone you trust. This can be a friend, a therapist, a minister, someone who can be beside you and support you through this process. Gather good information that is constructive. There's so much information out there that'll tell you how there's no chance that you're going to get back together, or it can tell you how to do it by casting spells or manipulating or somehow coercing the other person. That is not good sources of information. You need to find useful sources of information that move you in a constructive way, and avoid the spouse-bashing doomsayers, whether it's on the web or in the print. There are lots of places that will just tell you how horrible marriage is and how terrible your spouse must be. Don't listen to that. That just feeds what you're already feeling inside, and it helps you justify. So, but also, be clear about this. At this point, it's not the time to not take care of yourself. In fact, you really need to take care of yourself in this period of time, even when you're scared. So you need to eat well. You need to make sure you're getting nutrition in. So many times people do one of two things when they're in that fearful response. They suddenly start eating just horrible food, junk food, yucky food, that's the kind of the comfort food, and so they gain weight and feel worse, or they don't eat at all and they lose weight and feel worse. You need to eat well. Make sure you're eating useful meals, good meals for your body. Get some exercise. Now, I'm not saying you start a whole marathon training program if you haven't been doing that, but you need to get out and walk and enjoy nature, or do something that releases some of that adrenaline that's building up in your body, because that really is a natural process here. When we get fearful, we're pumped full of adrenaline, and the only way our body can get rid of that is to work it out. And working it out means to have some physical activity going on. So make sure you exercise. And on top of exercising, make sure you get rest. Most people need between 6 and 8 hours of rest, and that's when they are doing okay. You may need to make sure that you're getting rest, because sometimes when we're fearful, we also don't rest well. We want to make sure that we take care of ourselves and have good sleep hygiene so that we can get the rest we need. And then involve yourself. Find some interest to lose yourself in sometimes, so that you have a break from being worried about what's going on. You need to have something as a focus other than getting back together. You need to have something that's going to help enliven your life, because when you get so caught up into one thing, you lose yourself, you lose your identity, and more than that, you make yourself boring to those around you. And not only that, you get so focused that you can't even be effective in what you're trying to be effective in. So find something to involve yourself in and enjoy life a little bit, because this is not the end of the world. This is just a process that you're going through, and you have to treat it like that. not succumbing to the fear. That is priority number one. You want to breathe, meditate, take some time for yourself, calm down, and think of the soothing side of life. Don't give in to the fear, and if you can do that, you have done a huge step in trying to deal with that fear of messing up. And even if you've messed up in the past, set that aside, move forward. We're always moving forward. We're always trying to do better things. That's the process of life. If you want some more help to learn about how to save your marriage so you can actually constructively deal with what's going on, then go now to www.savethemarriage.com. That's www.savethemarriage.com.